All right, welcome. How's it going? This is Nick Goodwin. I know that we are moving to have instructors kind of have more formal names. So sometimes professors are called Professor so and so, and I don't. I'm an adjunct instructor, so I figure you could call me either Adjunct Goodwin or probably Doctor Goodwin is fine. But I'm certainly more used to Nick, but I'm happy to help change the culture to have more formal names for the instructors. So I want to do a kind of an introduction to the course as far as course expectations and assignments and all that. I know that the Pearson text is new to us as a school, and this is the first course that I've introduced it. This is also the first time that we're going to be doing this course online. In the past, it's been hybrid, so it wasn't much to change it all to online, but there are certainly some adjustments I needed to do. So I appreciate that everyone was patient with me to produce this video to try to answer all your questions. Hopefully you guys have been able to do some work on Module 1. Pearson viewing will not be assigned for that module, but there will be assignments for the rest of the modules. So I have you on student view here at my computer, and I'll just kind of go through kind of what I have posted. Probably the best place to start here is modules. I forgot to put this up before I did the video, but I have a new schedule. All right, so I just changed it. So I paused it and I changed it. So I updated the schedule here today. So it isn't much different, and so hopefully it doesn't. Well, it won't change anything because I've only made changes in the latter part of the course. So if you've had this printed out binder or anything like that, make sure you delete that and look at this new schedule, which I've updated because of the Pearson assignments that I've assigned. Only 4 of those. And so this is a really good place to start here, is to look at, okay, so how is the course going to be laid out? What are the dates for it? As far as Pearson text and assignments, I've made those all available now, just because they're new and I'm not sure what the time commitment's going to be. So I'll rely on you guys to tell me if you've done them. Hey, that was if it's pretty quick to do and it probably need to be a little more complicated in the future, or if it was very time consuming, difficult to other assignments, just let me know so I can know, because I can here. Each peer assignment is reading. Actually, it's a chapter or a couple pages assigned with a quiz, test. And each test has between 12 to 20 questions. So I don't expect that to be too time consuming. But I know in the past textbooks we've had, you have to repeat the test over and over again. Sometimes that'd be just let me know. The first have been available in the discussion board. And I've seen one mission for sheet 1, and 4 I would do a discussion board and a worksheet for each week. Because of the Pearson assignments, which are 4 of them, I've replaced a couple of the discussion boards and worksheets with those, and so now there's only going to be 6 discussion boards and 5 worksheets and then 4 Pearson assignments. You're not going to see Pearson assignments on the assignment tab because I'm not sure how to do it yet, but you see all the discussion boards and worksheets with due dates. For the Pearson assignment due, make sure you refer here to schedule. It has each section broken up. I know I have some of the reading here, just depend on this because if you to the model section, I have all the reading as well. I probably will produce a couple of videos like this, which talks about the content, kind of a lecture, so to speak. I certainly don't have those posted yet, so I will post them as I use them. And so I'll probably not email, so you know to click on and view it, and also in the modules, but those will slowly update. We have this is really good dates, and one of these as we go down. This is a really good place for us, and if you've looked at it, please really, as you see, I have a couple of discussion board sheets to nominate for peer assignments. Okay. This we'll just the syllabus that I have pretty think with used to, so I don't expect any. This is I have midterm final. The closest quizzes are less than 6 because they're book, but don't have weight, and so in order to course to 70, but there is a testing component to that. So that is the only criteria. There isn't have to get a 7% or more on the quizzes. That I haven't had anybody ever get 8% on the quiz. I wouldn't anticipate that, but the test. I had to point out reading here up to date, which I will. That doesn't really. One has the same Pearson. This is really Pearson. These are these books for Lipin, Tree. The date. So using those subjects for that. Pearson is going to shit, and those reading, and then the articles. Probably 50 articles, 50 at Pearson, and those articles will be coded. We have those here. So this is not accurate either. It'll be completely online due to the COVID changes. Our next course, 113, we'll see what happens. It might be hybrid. Let's see. So here's information. So here's a weighing of the assignments. Discussion board and worksheets. Here's the deal. This course isn't terribly dynamic and isn't as high stakes as the other courses go. That being said, the material in this course is as represented in your NCLEX as other contents and topics are. So even if it feels like it's hard to prioritize this course, which I can understand, if you completely disregard it, you're going to suffer on the NCLEX, and a lot of this material is very relevant to nursing care, obviously. So you're also going to suffer not having this material ready when you become a nurse. But kind of, I know sometimes it's easier to look at tests. I don't have any dynamic tests, however, that this material is very important. But most people do really well in this course because of that reason. It's very much dependent on participation. If you engage in all of the activities, there's no reason why you won't get full credit on everything. You may lose some points here or there based on writing, or if you miss a couple quiz questions, but it's usually not enough to really give yourself a bad grade in this course. The only time that I do see people get like B's in this class, not A's, is when they completely miss assignments. So when you miss a discussion board, you miss a quiz, which tends to happen every quarter, you're not going to get an A in this course. Other reasons why I see people don't get A in this course is with the written assignments. I'm pretty generous. I want it to be a learning opportunity rather than something that's discouraging. That being said, if you turn in your first draft, like if you write a first draft and then submit it right away, I will be able to tell, because it'll be hard to read. I don't care if you're William Shakespeare. Your first draft is going to kind of suck and be hard to read, and I will be able to tell, and I will not give you a good credit. I will not give you a good grade on that assignment, only because the harder it is to read the papers, the longer it takes. And so if it's certainly, if I really need you just to rewrite it, I'll probably send an email. Otherwise, your grade will suffer. So please do not send in the first draft. One of the writing assignments for this course even reflect that. I want one of your students to read your paper, and I want them to give you notes, and I want you to implement those notes. Okay, in an effort to sort of help people understand that first drafts are not worthy of turning in. It really should be a much later draft, a third or fourth, even a fifth draft that I should be seeing. And if I can tell that you put that work in, then I'm certainly going to give you the points that you deserve. And like I said, most people do really well in this course for that reason. I'm not interested in receiving late assignments, not because I'm not wanting to be graceful, but that to be consistent with other expectations of courses, and also that sometimes I lose track of the assignments. So if you're trying to email me late assignments, it's very difficult for me to keep track of that, and so I'd rather you just turn them in on the uploads in discussion board. That being said, if there's something going on that you may need an extension, please tell me before, not later, and we're always usually able to negotiate some way for you to get your work done with getting credit. But it's much easier to do that if you tell me before, not after. Please do not copyright material. These quizzes, when we do quizzes, they'll be individual, not group, even if they'll be open book. I can usually tell when people are doing it together because one's quiz time is long, one's quiz time is short. Now that I told you that, though, you can easily bypass it. So here's the grading scale. This is the schedule. I believe it's the old schedule, and I can update that. So if you're going to look at the schedule, please just look at this, the individual link for schedule, so it's updated. Though after this video, I will try to update this syllabus as well. Okay, so here we have the assignments, and if you look into assignments tabs, I'll go to that next. So if you look here, we will be able to look at when assignments are due. It shows you kind of all like what's. I like to look at it by type. That's how I set it up. So here we have the assignment section, which is 40% of your total. 6 discussion boards, 5 worksheets. You'll be able to upload worksheets here. Discussion boards will become available as they say, so one's available right now. My date is off, but it will be. It should be available. Your screen should say it's available. This one will be available next week, a week after, the week after, the week after. So we have 6 of those. Keep in mind, 26 is not a Sunday. 26 is like the last day of the quarter, which is I believe a Wednesday. Everything is due on that Wednesday. Okay. Quizzes, I don't have them up yet. They won't be due to about halfway through the quarter. Then I'll have 2 of them. They'll be done online. It'll be open book, but not open partner. Preferably not open Google. Please use your resources. And then you have therapeutic communication paper, which is due in a couple weeks. A peer response is due at the same time. And then you have the culture nursing assignment plus that presentation is due at the very end of the quarter. The Pearson, like I said, the Pearson assignments are not on here. I'm not sure how to do that yet. Look in the schedule. There's 1 or 2 due for each module after the first module. So there's 4 of them. So going through the assignments here, you have a therapeutic communication assignment, which is your first one. And I'll open up here to download it. And it is what ultimately, in a nutshell, it's I want you to identify a communication technique, a style. I will be teaching verbal judo and motivational interviewing. I mean, I won't be teaching it. I'll be exposing you to it. And you're welcome to use those. I've never had anybody write one on verbal judo. I'm not sure I don't think there's very much research on it with healthcare. It's mostly for law enforcement. Most people tend to write theirs on motivational interviewing. That's fine. But please open yourself. You can use whatever therapeutic communication technique that's in the literature as you want. I want you to pair it with a healthcare concern, preferably one that you're interested in. It does not have to be psychosocial. It does not have to be psychiatric. It can be whatever. It can be heart disease. And I want you to write the paper based off of those 2 concepts. And really the best way to do this is look at the paper content and just have a section for each one of these, right? Introduction, right? Introduce the therapeutic technique. If you're not using MI, you may have to use a little bit more content. Should it be hard? Introduce your illness. Summarize the literature and why you chose your articles. This is probably the thing that gets missed the most. People just skip this. I don't know why. Summarize the 2 articles that you have. I said I need to have 3 resources, but 2 of them, I want them to be articles that are online. And I have some resources for you on how to do research, and maybe next week's video I'll make more devoted to how to research and look up articles. Okay, but I believe Linda has made some videos available, and she is a great resource to reach out. Linda Hayes at the library. If you have a hard time with research, contact her or me. We can both help you get started on that. Discuss the nursing implications. This section also always gets skirts, or a lot of times people will combine 6 and 7. So the final paragraph will kind of have some nursing implications. Like, if you're going to skip anything, skip other things. Don't skip nursing implications. This is kind of where the money hits the road. Is that the right? I don't think that's actually a phrase. I think I'm mixing 2 of them together. But it's, the rubber meets the road, and then I don't really know. Okay, doesn't matter. But that's really the most important part. Like, everything doesn't matter as long as you connect why the information is important. If you're doing if you found an article on motivational interviewing and how to treat schizophrenia with nurses, and the article shows that motivational interviewing was not effective to treat schizophrenia with nurses, that's fine. You can still use that article. I'm sure there's a lot of great information in it, but you're going to have to extrapolate some implications there. And the implications, if you want your paper to be motivational interviewing shouldn't be used with nurses, you're going to have to really make a strong case there, not just throw it in there because the article was negative. A lot of research articles are negative. A lot of research articles do not find things to work. That's the point of research, is to find out if it works or not. A lot of reasons why motivational interviewing with nurses specifically doesn't work is because the hospitals never actually train nurses with motivational interviewing. So usually the nurses have a hard time implementing it because they weren't adequately trained. And so that might be that might be your implications. That might be it's very difficult for nurses to communicate therapeutically if they don't have any formal training. And then when they do training, it's a PowerPoint that's online that, people click through so they can go see their patient, because they don't actually give them a day to do it. They ask them to do it in between patients. That's a fine implication. That's totally fine. But what I see is a lot of people pick the first or second article they find that's relevant to their topic, and then they try to extrapolate implications, and it's really sloppy. It might be worth your time to find some really relevant articles, spend another half hour searching it, and that's going to cut 2 hours off the time for writing because the implications are a lot more easier to connect. Okay, but this is where I mostly knock people's points off, is because they give me 2 sentences on nursing implications and they don't meet the criteria for this, or they throw it in the conclusion paragraph. Conclusion paragraph should not have any new content. It should be its own paragraph. should be about 3 to 4 sentences. It can literally just be rephrasing the first paragraph. That's fine, but you have to have a conclusion paragraph. That's the end of it. No new content should be in that last paragraph. Okay, a lot of people miss that. 3 resources. If one wants to be your text, that's fine. 2, I would like to be articles, not like Medscape, not like websites. Articles that you have found, research articles, because you have to summarize 2 of them. Okay, and then this kind of helps kind of make sure that you're getting to the extent this rubric. Are you getting as much information as you need to there? And then and what you're also going to do is you're going to have your first or second draft. I would like you to give to a peer. These are both due at the same time, so you're going to have to be on top of this. This is due in a couple weeks, so I would get with a peer now. Please use. I haven't looked at the class sizes yet. I'm not sure if some of them have uneven. Let me see. I'll have to look at it a little later. If there is uneven or you have a hard time getting a partner, let me know and I'll figure it out with you. It's not okay to use a family member for this because you couldn't find a partner. I know it's online and I know that's hard because you guys are kind of new, but I'll put up a discussion board to help people find partners. Hey, looking for a partner. I might ask people to do 3. So, 3 people, 1 person reviews another person, but reviews another one. But don't do that automatically. Let me set that up. Please don't use somebody from a different course. Please use somebody from your own course. Don't mix and match the 106s because whenever that happens, somebody always gets left out. So find somebody, just 1 person. I might ask a group of people to do a 3 if somebody emails me that they don't have a person. If you have a hard time finding a partner and you do not reach out to me or one of your peers for help and you just go along with it, you will lose all of these points. So it's really important to get your partner. Please reach out to me and we can find yourself a partner. I know it's harder when it's online. Okay. But if you have your clinical groups, that might be the best way. If there's 8 people in a clinical group, just use your 8 people, and that might be easier than using a friend. But I'll let you guys navigate that. Okay. And so here's a reviewer. Here's a comment. You can either use a 1 to 10 scale. You can use an A, B, C, D, E, F scale. Be honest. I don't use this to actually grade their paper. You're using this to tell them whether or not the paper sucks. There's a lot of times where I wish the reviewer just told their friend that, hey, your paper sucks. You're going to want to really make a mention. I know that there's kind of an extent where you want to leave some of the errors in there for your friend to find, and that's fine. There's value to that. But there's certainly been papers like, this is really great. And when you read the paper, it's incoherent and it's very difficult to read. And it makes me question how much time the reviewer spent on that. So that's the only reason why I would come back and maybe ding points off a reviewer's review. If they, for me, it's like, I don't even know if they read the paper because they gave them all A's and said they did a great job when the paper is incoherent and impossible to read. So, and that's just doing your friend a disservice because now they got a poor grade because they didn't know. Sometimes you just don't know. I've been told that a lot in graduate school when I was just like, Nick, your writing is not adequate for graduate. I mean, it was hurtful, but I didn't know I was a bad writer until a teacher came to me and said, Nick, you're not a good writer. Something that I want to work on, especially if you want to go on and the truth is, go on to get your bachelor's or go on to get your doctorate. You guys are going to become professional authors. Your guys' notes are going to get published. You know what I mean? You're not, doesn't matter. I don't care what you do. If you're going to be a nurse, you're going to be a writer. And so if your writing is bad, you want me to tell you, right? Because it's going to be a lower stakes. And so you can learn to fix it because when somebody goes get to a lawsuit and they start pulling your notes and they're incoherent, then it's going to be really embarrassing. And you're like, man, I really wish that my peer and Nick had told me that I need to shape up a little bit. So a lot of writing resources. Go to the writing lab, have them write you a note, and I'm gonna, if I know that you put that effort in, I'm certainly gonna give you credit. If you still struggle with writing, I know we're not gonna teach you how to write a perfect essay this quarter, but if you give me some documentation that you rent to the writing lab and pursue that help, even if you still are not struggling to make the paper what it should be, I will certainly give you full credit for it if I saw that you made efforts to go to the writing lab. Does that make sense? So please utilize those resources. What I want to see is that you're learning and growing, not that you're perfect. Okay. So therapy communication assignment and peer review is due the same day. So you're going to need to have your paper done at least a week before that, I would say, to give your friend or your partner room to write that. Okay. And I'll create a discussion board here in order to find a partner if there's not enough in your clinical group for whatever reason. All right, culture and nursing assignment. I'll go ahead and open it up. This is a 2-part assignment, and this will be done in groups. However, because of the online format, I know it can be hard to arrange groups, so I will give people the option to do it by themselves, which I don't recommend doing. A, because it creates a lot of assignments for the grade, so that's kind of a selfish reason, and B is because it's a huge freaking assignment. And so if you can have 2 or 3 people in a group, and you can essentially cut the work in half or cut it in thirds. If I see that you did it by yourself and I see that you're missing some stuff, I probably will be more forgiving, but not ultimately, not really. So, I mean, I definitely understand people are just like, look, I have 5 kids, I work a full-time job, there's no way that I'm getting together outside, I gotta do this. It's, I wouldn't recommend, if you have a full-time job and 5 kids, man, it's gonna be rough summer for you, but I know it certainly happens. I'm always impressed by SEC's nursing students who come and they excel and they become excellent nurses, even though they have all this extra stuff. So I understand that happens. And so if you absolutely cannot create a group, you can do this assignment on your own. However, if you ask me to cut out steps, I'm not going to. I say, look, the assignment's the assignment. If you choose to do it by yourself, you're certainly going to have a lot more work to do. But I know that it takes work to organize with a group and negotiate with a group, and so you get to decide what's more important. Probably the sweet spot depends on how much work you're willing to do, 2 or 3 people, and you're getting a lot of stuff done. I don't want to see groups of 5. Groups of 4 might be fine, but I really need to see what each of you did to make sure that it was dynamic. So you can do anywhere between 1 and 4 groups. I'd say that when you get 4 people, there's a lot of people, a lot of perspective, a lot of opinions, and so I bet in groups of 4, and sometimes I wish I just did it by myself. So I think groups of 2 or 3 is really your sweet spot. If you end up having a hard time finding a group but would like to be in a group, you guys, I want you to post your groups on the discussion board so you do not overlap topics. I do not want you to see you use the same topics. These are cultures, and so I'm looking for mostly ethnic groups or religious groups. It's totally fine. Like, people who do it on Jehovah's Witness or do it on Mormonism or all that stuff is a great topic. Some people try to go a little bit more outside the box. The next quarter's assignment, I'm using psychosocial topics, which would be more like, abuse victims or mental illness in children. So those kind of out-of-the-box approaches to culture assignment tend to fit better next quarter. But you can let me know if it's a little bit out of the box you want to try. I think one person did prison culture. Again, that seems more appropriate for next quarter, but I'd probably let you do it. So just let me know. This is a maximum 5-page paper, which is a big paper. Again, the best way to do it is to just include each one of these. Introduction, brief background, summarization of literature, cultural components or spiritual components, specific health concerns, nursing implications, conclusions. Like, give me the title. And honestly, if you give me that title with the stuff underneath, it's so easy to grade. And like, look, they got it. They got that. They got that. They got that. Was it make sense? Was it coherent? Did it make a good point? Did it back up its findings with research? Yes. A. Easy peasy. Here's your A. If you mix and match all of these sections and put them in there and I'm trying to extract them, I'm going to find some reasons why you didn't meet the criteria. I'm like, well, this is hard to find. Your evidence was not backed up well, or at least that I saw, because it was difficult to read your assignment. So once you get kind of abstract that way, it's very difficult to sign. And a good way to do this is say, okay, person A, do 1 through 3. Person B, do 4 through 6. Person C, do 7 through 9. And then each of you write your little part in the paper, match them together, somebody reads through it and make sure the tone's consistent. Easy peasy. You also have the poster rubric, and that might be something that one person does or 2 people do together. Poster is certainly going to be easier to do. The poster should line up with the paper. Sometimes I've seen groups, one does the poster, one does the paper, and they're completely separate. It needs to be the same assignment, so I would recommend everybody do a little bit for each, or a lot of it for each. And really what I'm looking for is 4, let's see, where's I have the rubric? Yeah, 4 really specific pieces of implications of your paper, okay? Nursing interventions usable to most settings, content supported by evidence or expert opinion, creative and engaging poster, time spent to ensure poster is neat, okay? Really want 4 interesting, not obscure, don't give me obscure information, usable information related to your culture on your paper. That's all you have to do, and then make it creative and neat. These are going to be posted on discussion board, the last discussion board. Oh, I forgot about the last, okay, so there's actually going to be a 7th discussion board. I apologize for that mix-up. There will be 7 discussion boards, and the 7th one will have, 7th one will be posting these assignments so people can view them and then people can comment on them. Okay. And so that'll be the last thing. And so people ask, can I do PowerPoint? Yes, but I want you to make the PowerPoint look like a poster. I don't want it to be I don't want it to be like a slideshow. This should be it should take about 5 minutes to review your poster or less. Okay. So it needs to be brief. Your content, the heaviness should be in a poster, should be in the paper. I mean, if you do want to record a little narrative, a little 5-minute video, that's totally fine. But a lot of times I recommend is just using 2 or 3 slides on a PowerPoint, or using just 1 slide and essentially making your PowerPoint into a poster and making a PDF. I still like to see creativity there. If it's just white and black with just listings, even if the information's fabulous, you'll lose points for creativity. Actually, you could potentially lose half your points if it's not any way creative, okay? Or not neat. Let me know if you have any questions on that. I know I went through that quickly. Here, I will go through the modules. Oh, the discussion board here. I want to pull up the discussion board. So there are 7 discussion boards. I know earlier 6. The 7th one is going to be where you post your final presentations. And so here I have discussion board guidelines. I may have to download it. And so really the thing is you're going to have initial posting answering the questions that I have on the discussion board. Sometimes it's pretty open. Next quarter, my discussion boards tend to be much more open than this one, so I'm trying to get you into it. And then the other one, I kind of want to try to create less structure, especially if we don't have the in-class dynamic, which I really enjoy, where we kind of have a lot of off-the-cuff conversation. We really miss that. So here's the discussion board, and I have the Excellent over here. I should have switched it. But frequency, so you post something, and then you're going to respond to other people's postings. It shouldn't all happen Sunday that it's due. There needs to be some evidence you did it throughout the week. Technically, if you do it Saturday and Sunday, I'm not going to dock points here. But I really liked it. If everybody did it Saturday, Sunday at the end of the week, no one would have any access to be able to comment. So you have 2 weeks where the discussion boards are open. It really should happen at least throughout a week, right? You should be checking it to look and see if anybody commented on yours. And even though it's not on here as far as grading goes, if there's conversation engaging based off your post, you should be engaging in that conversation, right? And then you should comment on 2 people's posts. If your own post creates a really good conversation and you want to participate in that conversation, which you should, I will let that be 1 post, okay? But another one should be on the other person's, and honestly, it'll be better if you have 2 on other people's just to help get conversations going, and so people's thoughts can be kind of acknowledged, okay? So at least 2 additional postings to your 1 posting. But the idea is that there's a back and forth conversation there. And so even if you want to post a couple of short ones just to acknowledge what people says, that would be wonderful. But 3 of your posts, your initial and the 2 following up ones, should have at least 100 words. I don't go through and count each one of the words, but usually what happens if somebody starts missing other things, like they post it all in one day, maybe I'm going to check your word count just to see, I might take some points that way. Okay. So, you also should have 1 citation, a source of some kind that is not the textbook and that is not the assigned reading. Another tertiary source should be on there. It doesn't have to be in your initial. It can be on a follow-up somewhere. There has to be a citation. If you're using the reading as a source, you can cite it if you want, or you can anticipate that, this discussion board is related to the reading, so I don't necessarily have to cite it because we were talking about it, okay? And be respectful. I've never had an issue with this or had to come after somebody for not being respectful, but the reasons why people lose points is because they post on the same day. People lose points because they don't have a citation, and people lose points because they don't quite get the word count where they need to be. That's literally the reason why people lose points, not for other reasons. Or they just miss an entire posting or they miss an entire discussion board. And I will, if you do 1 initial post and only 1 follow-up, then you're going to get like a C or a D on it because that's like a third or a fourth of the entire assignment. So I'm just going to cut those points out. So make sure you hit your guidelines, understand. Sometimes you have to prioritize other things, but just keep in mind the reason why people don't get A's in my course is because they just miss assignments. I'm going to post this video in module here, in module 1, but here, I'm going to pause this. All right, so here we go. I published the rest of the modules here. This has been open, so hoping you've looked at it. Module 2, Culture Diversity, has sort of written out kind of the activities. You should be able to start on them now. Worksheet 3, discussion boards, they're not going to be, with the exception of discussion board 7, all the discussion boards are not going to be available until the content starts. So if you look at the schedule, it'll show you when. So please read these articles. I'll show you how to go to the Pearson reading, module 24, concept of culture diversity, and then there's the assignment that goes along with that, which is, I believe, it's just quiz questions, essentially answering those quiz questions. Part 2, there's 2 weeks in each module, so this is week 1, this is week 2. Watch one of these webinars. They're all excellent. They're all really cool. So find one you find really interesting, or you can just do the first one there. I think it's more general. It's really good information there. I'm going to be talking to, hopefully, I emailed him just today to see if he could record a video. He's talked to us in the past. Ian Sullivan, the director of the Odyssey Youth Program, Youth Movement, which is for LGBTQ adolescents and young adults. And so hopefully he'll agree to record an interview with me. In the past, he's come in person, so I can post that, make that available for you guys, and feel free to use for the assignment therapeutic. I guess that's going to be next quarter, but there's an assignment where you look at and discuss a resource. Certainly, you can use this video and that resource for your paper. So something worth watching. I'll have that available unless it's unable to happen. But I plan to post videos like lectures or interviews with each one, so I'll email those as an update. Certainly important that you watch those. It might help also tie together all of the resources. I know there's a lot of reading, so sometimes people are concerned about like what's going to be on the quiz. Well, all of it's going to be on the quiz, but usually when I do a quiz, I sort of tell you what resource to look at. And if you've at least engaged in the assignment, if you've at least watched the video that I posted or read the article, or at least skim the article so you can look through it quickly, you're going to do fine on the quizzes. If you've looked at nothing, you're going to feel very overwhelmed trying to complete the quiz, even though there's no time limit on it. And that's where I see people kind of get hurt on the quiz, is that it's just too much to look for all the questions. If you at least engaged in it, you should have no problem answering the questions or finding answers to the questions. Okay. So that's where the modules are, and so here's, they'll take you to, this will download the worksheet 3, they'll download the 2 article to read, this straight to the board. It's not going to for a couple. So available now. I'll email making the updates. So if you're going to go to here, let me get questions first, and then I'll get into. I'll leave you to do that. Here's your discussion boards. They're here, not available, all available. Discussion board 1. Discussion board 1 is available today. Like I said, date's wrong, so that'll be the same. I posted discussion board 7, so when you're done with your petitions, you have to wait till August to put them on there. You can whenever, but it's due August 26th as everything, so last day of order. Discussion groups, you by yourself, everyone, and make sure you know what other people posted. This is first come, first serve. Groups, like I said, this is updated. It'd be 1-4. And if you happen to post at the same time as someone else, I will give topic for post first, even if I win it. There might be some negotiation if you wanted to look at a subtopic, a subgroup, as long as and then you might have to negotiate with the other group. So that someone chose, Muslim, or Islam as their topic, and you wanted to do some sort of specific sect of that, just let them know that they're doing that and let me know, and then it's probably fine. First serve, who's your group? Even if you're by yourself, tell me your name on there. You'll see your name on it. But tell me the names of the people in your group, even if it's yourself, and the topic. And make sure you review this before you post on there, as your topic may be taken. When I look through this in the next couple days and I see 2 people try to do the same thing, I will email you and say, please choose another topic. Section. So for a partner, posted time, and partner, maybe easier to your clinical groups, though I know some clinical probably have full. And so it's like if you have a hard time, the best before you reach else. Leave student, and so what am I just the I'm hoping to what you're going to post the nurse I'll use in my lab and mine in. I think it allows second. Student. So this is it looks I'm only chapters this entire and they just there's a lot. This is not enough to do this. Trying to use social is read it and the textbook topics you know all about Americans. So again, the only do August 6th. This is for the stress or sleep. So the first one is in 15. You get the easiest. That's anything. Ignore either one. Actually, we'll use the next one. You think I'll start reading? I'm not going to order the ones like this. Ignore them. Let me know. Ignore them. Let me see. I'm think of some video, but in the class. I did my email respond at 7 or something. you with them. I'm not used from me happen, not text me, but I would really email, just text me for me. If I really like an email. I don't think in this please an emergency I was doing I can understand. I don't have hours time, definitely we could do meeting in person. Sometimes these personal that is law or which were so do am a thing if I can't be obvious. However, can talk here and out. I can do some therapy. Let me know, and this is really hard to do. And to be safe about that happens. I have experience never and so it's one is going to happen. But if it's would like to, but schedule a time to time. So sometimes we try to email and if or not the face if we can. Questions for ask you guys have extra clinical students not a part of that. The text them include. I know it's a phone blow letter teams, but in that network, to a bunch of people. I have a question. Please to contact me. I do questions. Everyone in this video, find it. I got her. Watch this part. If you watch it, you can ask me. Probably easier to all and have 5 me the same. That do not have free to reach out to you. If you know specific your issue, don't come talk. But if it's some structures or whatever, who read how that was wrong and that was to cut that, try to update. But other more information, I'll try one regularly. You know that's learn. It's nice to instruct. Get all the kind of help cohesive. Interested in doing you guys just see YouTube and on your phone. So I think that's we'll email so best to you and you guys involved.